Cheers, and welcome to Chicago Reacts. My name is Lauren, and today I'm going to be looking at how to drink. This one is entitled Even Worse Bottles in My Bar. This one will include Malort, Southern Comfort, and Klaposter Mjod. I'm going to assume that's how that's pronounced until I am proven otherwise. It has been suggested before that I look at some of his Malort episodes because I do live here in Chicago, and Malort is, of course, I don't know, is it our city's national drink? I'm going to call it our city's national drink, regardless of the fact that it's a city and not a nation, because I really don't think that anywhere else in America is going to claim it. So I've decided that that is the reason for that word I used, instead of just admitting that I made a mistake. There was definitely a reasoning behind it. Let's go with that. In any case, I decided that I'm going to have a drink I like with me while I watch this poor man torture himself with drinks that are terrible. If you go to Chicago, someone will probably offer you a Chicago handshake. A Chicago handshake is typically a shot of Malort and an old-style tall boy. Like, that's just kind of usually what the Chicago handshake is. Get a crappy beer and a very bizarre tasting liquor. I honestly, when I drink it, I don't hate Malort. I don't. I'm not gonna choose to drink it ever because it doesn't taste good. It's very bitter. But some people really do find that it tastes like paint thinner. Just absolutely monstrous. So that's going to be a very subjective thing. Some people actually really like Malort. Everyone's taste buds are different, y'all. Malort is one of those very, very divisive drinks, though. I'm one of the few people who am just like, no, it's fine. It's okay. It's not good. I'm not going to say it's fine. I can drink it without making a face. So, like, let's say that. Malort's not good. Some people like it. Most people, like, have to almost spit it out, which is funny to me. But I can take shots of Malort without needing to chase. So that's sort of where my level is. If I need to chase a drink, that's when I know it's terrible. To date, the only drink I've ever chased is Pinnacle Whipped, because I lost the Mario Party drinking game. In any case, let's get going. I want to see what he's going to do with these particular bottles. Let's go.
Today, we're doing it again with 3 more bottles that come straight from the pits of hell, in my opinion. Here we go on the worst bottles in my bar.
And no, I did not see part 1 yet. I figured this is one of those that doesn't really need to be done in sequence. If people like this, I can go and watch the other one at some point because, again, who doesn't like watching someone else drink terrible, terrible drinks? Schadenfreude is real, my friend.
We did this pretty recently with the worst bottles in my bar. A lot of people wanted to know why I didn't have Malort, and the truth is that I was out of Malort. Malort is a pain to get. It's only in like 1 market. Whatever. I got more Malort. I got 2 bottles. And
it's easy for me to get it. I go to the liquor store down the street.
The way you normally
any of the 3 liquor stores down the street.
use Malort, which is not at all. I think those 2 bottles will last forever. So we've got Malort in this episode, which isn't great stuff, but honestly, it's not as bad as you guys make it out to be. But it ranks for one of the worst bottles in my bar for sure. We've got, probably gonna be pretty divisive, Southern Comfort, which is garbage. And we've got, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's, I'm gonna say it's Klaposter Mjod, or Klaposter Mjod.
Oh, mead, okay. I said Mjod, I think. Klaposter Mjod. Okay, that kind of makes sense. But yeah, okay, see, like he said, Malort's not that bad. I honestly don't think Southern Comfort's that bad either. But again, I've only ever had Southern Comfort when I was like, I think the last time I had it was in college. So, I don't know.
I think it's like that. So this is from Dansk Mjod. I really liked their 1 bottle. The Viking Blood is tasty.
Oh, like, Viking Blood. Viking Blood's amazing. That stuff's really, really
buy everything
good.
I can see from this company. So I bought like several bottles of this on a lark, and it's poison. I don't know how else to describe it. So the goal today is to find if there's anything useful I can do with these bottles. Make a cocktail that features Malort, a cocktail that features Southern Comfort, and a cocktail that features Klaposter Mjod. Let's get started. All right, here we go. A lovely tasting of Malort. Just a little something in the glass there. I'll give you what the nose is. Apples, but bitter. Really, it's just bitter. It smells chemically. I mean, I'm being very generous when I describe it as smelling like an apple. It smells like nail polish remover, like acetone, strongly. Just chemical. It just doesn't smell very nice at all. It's only 70 proof. It's 35% alcohol, so it's not super high proof. I mean, it's just about standard spirit proof, but... Oh, cool, yeah, and this is Besk. And Besk is, a higher proof version of the same style of liqueur. So, yeah, Baby Besk is a little bit better. Here's Malort. Look, I don't like it, but it tastes a lot like Suze, to be honest. Like, it tastes a lot like a lot of other bitters. It's not the worst. It's far from the worst thing I've ever had. It has like a finish that I don't like. It gets salty, but otherwise...
Yeah, that's kind of the biggest issue that I have with the Malort too, is like it's fine as it's like going down the hatch, but then it's the aftertaste that just kind of sits there on your tongue. So it's just like you can just taste it for a while afterwards, which is probably why most people chase it. But I am like, no, I've got to be a badass. I got to wait a little while before I drink anything else afterwards. But yeah, I think for me at least that's the worst bit. But sometimes people drink it and the faces they make are very funny.
It's just bitter. It just tastes like a really bitter root. And if you're not accustomed to putting your mouth into those kinds of tastes, right? Like if you're not accustomed to experiencing that flavor profile, sure, it's going to be the worst thing you've ever had. But I got a little annoyed by somebody saying it was the worst bottle on the planet, not just in your bar, and I told them he had a baby mouth. Because the truth of the matter is that this is the top of the barrel of bad stuff. This is the beginning of where bad begins. This is not really that bad. I mean, if I was in some place and this was like a delicacy and everybody wanted to drink this around the dinner table, I would be like, great, fine, sure. It's really not even that hard. And I don't want anybody to think that like I've got fake Malort here or something like that. I don't know. I'm sure that like so many people are so convinced that this is like the devil's taint sweat that they're just going to be like, that's not real Malort then. Like it is. I mean, it's the real thing. It's just, you don't know. You've got to have, I'm telling you, you need to get that bottle of Cowling liquor that I was using last time. That is a truly unholy spirit. It's unbelievable. I don't know what to say. Like, this is just the beginning. It really is. This is Besk. Oh, that was a big pour. I didn't mean for that. And Malort, for all intents and purposes, is a type of what this is, Besk or whatever. These are wormwood liqueurs. That's what they are. They're high proof. Well, they're not super high proof. They're normal proof wormwood spirits, liqueurs, whatever you want to call them.
So a lot of people also who do enjoy absinthe or who have tasted absinthe, when they go for Malort, they're like, oh, that's nothing. Because like absinthe is also like a wormwood base, I think. So it's also it's similar. So it's like people who have drank absinthe are like, this is fine, this is nothing. My favorite fact about Malort is that it was one of those drinks created during Prohibition, similarly to bitters, because that way people were like, taste it. It's not alcohol. It tastes bad. Therefore, it's medicine. So like that's why it is kind of the way it is.
I don't know if they technically meet the definition of a liqueur, so they're probably a spirit. And I want to be clear too. Absinthe isn't a wormwood liqueur.
No. Oh, okay. So it's not. It just tastes like one. That's what it was. I was like, it's somewhere in that same taste profile, though. Okay.
Absinthe is an anise liqueur. It has wormwood as a component of its pastiche of herbs, but it's not primarily wormwood. There are these like stupid like make your own absinthe kits online where you take like neutral grain spirits, grain alcohol, and they give you like a tea bag full of wormwood roots to soak in it. I would imagine that the resulting stuff is pretty close to this. So they're basically bitters. That's really what these are. They're just big bottles of bitters. And that's kind of why they're tough to use, because to use them, you want to use them in like little drips and dashes. You don't really want to use like a huge big pour of it. But I think that actually to a certain extent, if you treat this like you would a big pour of Angostura, even though it's nothing like Angostura. Angostura has so much character and flavor, and it's delicious in a way that this just isn't. That might be the way to make this drink. It's kind of what we did with the Cowling. Anyway, so I just wanted to point out this is Besk, because I used Besk recently in an episode as a stand-in for Malort, because I happen to have this bottle. I've never actually done them side by side. I think that they should be, I'm gonna say this has a much more, this does actually, I think, have just a touch of anise in there. Just a little bit, just off the nose. It's a little closer to absinthe, but I mean, honestly, it's much more interesting, actually. It's much more black pepper. It's a lot sweeter. This is a lot better, to be perfectly honest. It is a better thing. So maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I had to. Oh my God, my nose is so itchy. I got the itchy nose with these freaking nostril hairs. I hate it. Hey, like most people, I need sleep to live. So I've got to thank Helix Sleep.
I think that makes sense if it's more anise-y, that it's sweeter. I think that makes sense. I mean, most of my experience with like anise-based drinks are like raki, which is kind of sweet. I find it sweet. I don't like raki at all.
For sponsoring this episode and giving me a supple surface to do my biologically necessary sleeping on. I think back to over a year ago when Helix Sleep first asked me to try one of their mattresses on my show. Did I know I'd still like it 12 months later? That I'd wind up sleeping on it on a whole lot? No, I did not. Yet here I am, a whole year of sleeping later. Sleeping is good, and Helix makes sleeping. If you're not familiar, Helix makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your sleep style, and they ship them straight to your front door. Helix, of course, knows that beyond a simple imperative for sleep that everyone is different. That's why they made the sleep quiz to match your unique body type and sleep preferences to exactly the right mattress for you. Personally, I am something of a hybrid side and back sleeper, so they paired me up with a Midnight Lux, and I have found that little guy to be the most sleeply indeed. Buying online couldn't be easier, but Helix knows you want to test this kind of thing out, which is why you get a 100-night sleep trial to see if it's the right mattress for you. If it's not, they'll come and take it away. No questions asked. Never to be slept on again. Sleep support, delivered to sleep location. How can you top it? And the mattress I had before being introduced to my Midnight Lux is now nothing but a fading, distant memory. But I do feel pretty confident in saying that I'm sleeping better now than I was then. And I can't stress enough that improving your sleep is a net positive in the grand scheme of things, considering that without sleep, you will die. I like how supportive the mattress is too. Back support isn't quite as important as sleep in your biological mandates, but I'd still put it pretty high on the list, and this mattress does it. So click the link below or go to helixsleep.com/howtodrink for up to $200 off your Helix Sleep mattress plus 2 pillows. Pillows are really...
all of that's great. I don't sleep well. But I do like my mattress. This is a long ad.
helpful for neck-having people, which statistically you are very likely to be. So that should be relevant to your interests. Thanks for hanging out with me while I talk to you about the importance of sleeping. Now back to your regularly scheduled HTD. All right, here's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna try something. I'm just gonna try this idea. Half an ounce of simple, 1 ounce of this Corte Vetusto mesquite smoked mezcal. By the way, if you're interested in any of these spirits, please check out Curiata using the link in the pinned comment below. You wanna pick up a bottle of this to try out this drink for yourself. Now 1 ounce of Malort. I'm a little out of order here. I wanna get some lemon in there. Probably 1 ounce of lemon juice. Get some strawberries. In this case, I just use one because I got this huge one here. I'm just gonna take this one big strawberry. Great, and now ice in here. All right, and I'm gonna mostly open pour this, but I just want to hold that one giant piece of ice glass back. Let's garnish that with a lemon wheel, I think. Here we go. I don't know what to call it yet, but let's find out if it's a drink yet. It honestly smells nice. Lemons and strawberries are good. That's a nice combo. Hold on. It's a bold choice here, Greg. I don't know if this is actually gonna work or not. Hold on. I'm gonna add another half of simple. I don't know. This one might not work. Sometimes I just need...
That's an ounce. An ounce, that's a lot of simple. You put a lot of simple and a lot of lemon in there.
Good place to start. You need that first cocktail. The mezcal may have been a mistake, but I was really trying for something here. All right, here we are. A little sweeter now. Another half ounce of simple. That actually helped a lot. Is this for everybody? No, but I don't hate it. The only thing I think it needs is... all right, so I have two ideas here. We got a little chipotle powder and some tahini. So tahini is a seasoning. It's got a lot of lime in it and other things in it. I don't think it's the right move here. I think that chipotle is the right move. How to get the chipotle into the drink? Do I just put it in as if we were going to shake with it? Yeah, I think probably that's right. I think I'm just gonna put a little... you know what? That's what you do. You just put a little chipotle right across the top of it. And I don't normally like spicy stuff, but I do love chipotle.
And I do like a spicy sweet mix. And when you're using something like mezcal or tequila, like using a little bit of a extra spice in there is usually really good. And people like to do it with like a Bloody Mary too, like a vodka, tomato juice, whatever. I don't like Bloody Marys in general. I find like I really don't like spicy drinks unless it's either tequila or mezcal.
That's some nice stuff. That's smoky chipotle flavor. All right, here we go. This is a chipotle strawberry. We're gonna need a name for this. This is a weird drink. So I'm personally not really big on mezcal, but I recognize that people like it, right? So this is what I'm going to say about it, right? Because I can taste it. Whether or not I subjectively enjoy it is a personal matter. But here's the flavor profile, okay? Strawberries up front with smoke, which is unusual, but not unwelcome. That gives way to a brief pause where it's just strawberry sweetness, and then you get a little bit of rising heat from the chipotle, which is smoky in a different way than the mezcal was smoky, and it's nice. And it leaves your mouth kind of burning. And then finally, at the very, very, very end, that slowly subsides into base bitterness, which is the Malort, and then again strawberries on top of that. And of course, my lips are burning a little bit from the chipotle. So am I just kind of throwing a lot of stuff here at Malort to hide it? You could maybe, but I want to say that, like, I can taste the Malort here. I haven't hidden it. I have worked with it, I think. That's what I'm going to say. Because the Malort flavor is still there. You get that bitterness, especially at that one point throughout it, yes, but definitely there's a point in the profile of the flavor where it comes to the fore. I'm not just hiding it in this case. It's just Malort is an extremely loud flavor. It is big, and to work with that, you need to bring other huge flavors to the fore. That's why I reached for mezcal. For the reason that I'm not really big on smoky stuff, I don't really do a lot with mezcal on the show, but I had this instinct that, like, well, whether I like mezcal or not, I think that if we think in terms of mezcal, it will cut and work with the loudness of the Malort. Is smoky mezcal a flavor that you typically want to add bitterness to? Actually, I think the answer is no, and that's where the rest of the drink comes in. So what I'm thinking is, like, well, sometimes I think that fresh fruit, strawberry flavor, taking that and making that smoky and putting that with mezcal, that can be a really interesting thing. And then that is a bridge into the bitterness. And we added a little bit more sweetness to it because the half-ounce simple versus a whole-ounce simple, big difference. And it's the kind of drink that, honestly, I'm okay with this sort of like open pour, porch sipper being on the sweeter end of the spectrum. And then why the pepper, why the chipotle? A lot of these flavor profiles, the kind of smoke I was getting from this mezcal is very acrid and kind of nasally and like very aggressive, like sharp and smoky and bitter, and kind of matching the bitterness of the Malort that way. But I wasn't getting that like mellow smoke vibe that like I get with a smoked chipotle. Basically what I'm getting at is that the drink felt like it was missing bass notes. I don't know if that relates to anybody else, but in my brain, that's how it works. I had no base, and I thought that we could get there with the chipotle. I like the chipotle here. I don't know if it's really providing that bottom end that I was looking for, to be perfectly honest, but whatever it's doing, I no longer feel like it's lacking, like it's missing its booty. So I think I did it. I don't know. I mean, Malort is tough to work with. You know, it's not really like the best thing to do with Malort is to put a dasher on the top of this bottle. I really do think that. The problem with that is that there are so many more interesting bitters than this that, like, why would this ever be the bitter you're going to reach for? It really won't be.
Unless you're in Chicago, but like it's not. Honestly, the only time I've actually ever even seen Malort, I know that there are places that work a lot with Malort. I have not ever been enticed to try any of those cocktails. When I've had it, it's been as a shot. Sometimes in order to just because that's the shot that was brought over, because that's the free one that the bar will give you, or sometimes because there was somebody who was new in town and like we all needed to, like, you know, y'all have to take the shot to like convince them to take the shot, and then, you know, we're all fairly practiced at keeping our faces blank when we take a Malort shot, but out of towners aren't, so it's like they think that it's, you know, fine. I don't know. For me, I feel like he did a lot to this. And I feel like anything that you have to do that much to, but you're still technically featuring that liquor or that spirit or whichever, you're no longer featuring it. That felt more like a mezcal beverage with some Malort in it. To me. Like, I feel like if you're going to have it, that needs to be the feature. You can't be putting all sorts of extra stuff in it. If you're just making a drink and you're not saying, oh, this is a Malort based drink, then it's fine. But if you're gonna try and sell this as like a Malort based drink, I don't think that this works. But that's a me thing, and that's gonna be subjective, and you know, the drink, I don't know. I might actually try it, honestly. I like mezcal. And but I don't really like it by itself. So I kind of like the idea of adding some of that stuff. That sounds so sweet. Like a full ounce of simple and a full ounce of lemon juice, I think most things that I make, it's like I'll go up to like a half an ounce of either of those things. Sometimes 3/4 for simple if someone likes a sweeter drink.
It's just so one note. I'm not over the moon. I'm not gonna lie. This isn't something it's, when I discover a cocktail that I subjectively love, it's very thrilling and awesome. I made a drink that somebody I think likes. I'm curious if you like it. I would like more people to make it. Obviously there's some crazy ingredients here, so it's like very few people are going to go out of their way to make this one, to be honest. But if you do make it, I would love to know what you think about it. What is the name for this drink? This is Marty Bird. This is the guy who does the laundry for that cartel in the show Ozark. It's a Marty Bird. We made a Marty Bird, and we're moving on now to the next one. Let's do Southern Comfort. That should be pretty easy. What's funny is looking at this, like that looks like something you'd put in Southern Comfort. That looks like a Southern Comfort drink. Now I'm going to try to do the other thing with Southern Comfort. We're going to go the opposite direction. Do the unexpected. Up next with Southern Comfort. All right, so I got a little Southern Comfort here. Just like retaste this. Oh yeah, peach vomit. That's what it smells and tastes like. Hi, yi, yi. Oh my God, I hate that so much. It's staggering.
So miserable.
How much I dislike that. How visceral my immediate reaction is to that. Malort does not inspire me. I truly hate this stuff. I'm sorry. This is garbage. All right, Southern Comfort. What are we making? Let me think. I'm trying to do something truly impossible here. I'm going to make a stirred drink that uses Southern Comfort. Why do I want to do it this way? I don't know. That's just kind of where my head's at right now. I'll tell you why. Because I want this show, I want to keep doing worst bottles in my bar for a while. And I feel like if I don't force myself outside of the mold of standard assumptions, that these are going to start to feel very repetitious. I think it's time to try it. Let's try.
I'm thinking some kind of like maybe a juice-based thing, like making something like a front porch lemonade kind of deal, that uses SoCo, that uses like that uses some triple sec. It uses like sweet and sour usually, a little bit of Coke, making a little front porch lemonade, or maybe something like with apple. I think you could maybe make something work with apple.
Try it. I'm going to do 1.5 ounces of Southern Comfort. This might be a crazy idea. 1/2 ounce of Drambuie. That's where we're getting our sweetness from. And now I think it's going to be 1 or 2 bar spoons of chartreuse and 1 dash of Angostura bitters. How did I come up with this recipe? I don't know. Is it a recipe yet? We don't know. We're going to find out. I am challenging myself on purpose here. It's kind of easy. It's not easy, but like treat everything like a sour or tiki drink. Sure, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. I want to try and do something really hard here and make a stirred classic cocktail, so to speak. And now, a twist of lemon. All right, here we go. This is a drink I don't have a name for yet, so let's see how it is with a little lemon twist on top. I want 1 more bar spoon of chartreuse. We're right on the cusp of greatness here.
Oh.
A little sweet, not gonna lie. Now you can't really taste the Southern Comfort at all. It's good, it's drinkable, but it does fail. So what I'm getting off of this formulation is it's sweet black pepper and that hint of lemon. I don't think the Drambuie's coming through very loudly, and I don't think the Southern Comfort's coming through very loudly. So I don't think this recipe works. I think that it's really been taken over by the chartreuse. So I'm going to dump it and try again. Felt right. Felt like we were right close there, but I guess we weren't. All right, we're back, and I want to take another crack at this Southern Comfort drink. I know you guys probably think I'm overthinking this, because SoCo and lime, that's a thing, right? Well, 1, it's a thing I've never found enjoyable in the slightest. And 2, I don't think it's very good. And my goal is to try to make a drink, like a good drink, that calls for Southern Comfort here. I'm sure you can...
Okay, so yeah, he's definitely looking for something in this one that you would need to use SoCo for, that you couldn't substitute another cheap whiskey for. That's interesting. I mean, that's what I was asking for with the Malort. So, I mean, I'm getting what I wanted.
Use this in a lot of drinks. I don't know. I can't quite explain why this one is really under my skin. So I'm going to pour 1.5 ounces of it into my mixing glass. I went on a little bottle hunt around the old how to drink bar, and I found some ideas. I have an idea. Benedictine. Do I want a whole quarter ounce? Yeah, a quarter ounce of Benedictine will be fine. And I think now a half an ounce of Lemon Heart 151. And all out of order here. These are just my thoughts. It's just where I was at. I'm going to do a little more than a quarter ounce of my own grenadine. Maybe this is a drink that will work. It's very challenging to make a stirred drink here with no citrus. Of course, if it had citrus in it, it would be a shaken drink. Maybe this wants to be a shaken drink. Maybe I need lime in this and I need to shake it. I am going to try to make this a stirred drink. I think those elements are going to balance and work, but I could be wrong.
I hate grenadine. I know, but like anything with grenadine in it, I'm immediately out. I'm like, I cannot with grenadine at all, ever.
Give that a stir. Strain that into a coupe. And let's see what this is like without any garnish first.
Looks pretty.
Definitely not missing the Southern Comfort. That's in there. I like this drink. I think it needs a little touch of citrus. I think an orange twist is going to be nice here. Maybe a lemon twist, but I think an orange twist is the way to go. Okay, here we go. A drink. I don't know what to call it yet. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's like a tobacco note in there. Like a dried, like humidor kind of smell.
Except for there's still that grenadine in there. And
I like that a lot. I think that really well balanced. Oh, man. Yeah, boy. Sorry. I'm very happy with myself because I was like shot in the dark there a little bit. So that takes the Southern Comfort flavor, which I'm not a fan of, and it balances it, okay? The Demerara, this guy right here, that's what's doing the tobacco thing. This has got a little bit of funk in it, but a lot of this burnt sugar flavor. And we take that and we combine that with the Southern Comfort, and we lengthen them out together. We get this really mellow, molassesy flavor. The peach that's in Southern Comfort is now more present than when you drink Southern Comfort straight. This tastes more like peaches than a bottle of Southern Comfort does. I think that the Benedictine, the astringentness of it, the bitterness of it, but not bitterness, the herbaceousness of it, has kind of scrubbed away the sour milk notes that I was getting in the Southern Comfort. I think that's its main job here, and I think it does it very admirably. It definitely does not need more sweetness. However, the grenadine is bringing a little bit of a fruit note, a fresher fruit note than what you get from the peach, but also it's letting us keep this a stirred drink without having to use fresh fruit, because if it was a fresh fruit, it would be a shaken drink, it would be a different kind of thing. It also adds a little color to it. There's not a lot of grenadine in there. I don't think it's really tremendously increasing the sweetness. Whatever it's doing, I think it's working. And then the orange twist, it brightens the whole thing. I think if it was a lemon, the lemon would dominate the drink, and that's why I wanted to try the orange. The orange brightens it. It brings in a little bit of that fresh citrus thing. I'm happy with this drink. It is a little on the sweet end of the spectrum, but this is definitely something that people would order and enjoy.
I would like to see it with either like cranberry or cherry juice instead of the grenadine, just because like you still get that flavor and it would like cut a little bit of the sweetness. So I mean, it's depending on which cranberry juice you use, but that's what I'd be curious with it with one of those two, just to see if that would actually, because for me, I'm not a huge fan of sweet drinks. I mean, the one I got here, pretty sweet, but like this one is my rhubarb cocktail that I don't really have a name for. It's just a rhubarb teeny, really. Rhubarb is the main ingredient other than vodka, but you know, there's a little bit of lime, a little bit of triple sec. I did shake it. But you know, so I would just be curious to see if you could use like a different fruit forward juice instead of the grenadine, which is just, for me, it's always been too sweet.
Oh man, that's kind of actually really neat. That's a very satisfying evolution turn. There is something in this flavor synthesis that's going on where the peachy Southern Comfort, which I'm telling you is expressing better here than it does neat, is kind of doing this dance with the Lemon Heart 151 and the orange twist, and it kind of like really activates on the underside of my tongue in a very fun way. I don't know the term for this in music theory at all, but like there are certain like progressions of notes that feel to me like a question being asked, and they tease you like there's a resolution note coming to resolve that question, like it's being answered, and it never does. And I love when music does that because it keeps you in that moment of tension forever. And that's kind of what I feel like this drink is doing. It just feels like tension all the time. And what is this hand signal? This is the tension hand signal, as we all know. I like this drink a lot. I'm very happy with this. All right,
nice.
Up next, we're going to...
Honestly, something like Soko, like it sounds like something I might put into like a red sangria, just like a little bit. I like to add like liquor to sangria in general. Like a red sangria, or liqueur, so like brandy is good in a red sangria. With like a white, I like to use certain kinds of vodka in a in a white sangria, like the grapefruit and rose from Kettle One. Like there's a couple of those that I like to use in that. So I feel like using a little bit of Soko in a sangria because of the peach that he was mentioning, and I like a little bit of peach schnapps in my sangria as well, especially if the wine you're using as your base is incredibly like dry. I like to add a little bit more of those fruit flavors in my sangria. So I was like, Soko, I feel like I could use in that and make it good. I mean, again, I don't have a huge problem with Soko in my memory, but the last time I drank it, I was in college. So maybe I hated it more than I thought.
We're gonna look at Klaposter Mjod. That's how you pronounce that. Klaposter
Klaposter Mjod.
This is Nordic caraway honey wine with natural flavor added. Ooh, the smell when you pour this stuff. Oh man, they were really on to something over at the Dansk Mjod factory when they came up with Klaposter Mjod. Oh boy, ay 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 ay, hachi machi. It's cloudy. It is pale.
I say hachimachi a lot, and I really am trying to stop because I'm like, it's so dumb. I don't even know where it's like. I know why I say it, and it's entirely Justin McElroy's fault. But I'm like, where does it even come from? Like in general, I don't know.
I mean, this is bad. This smells. I mean, the nose on this is so close to that sorghum stuff, that Kaoling, the Kinmen Kaoling. That I don't. It's so close to that I'm like having flashbacks. I'm getting like cold sweats and shivers running up and down my spine. Jesus Christ.
You can do it.
Okay, here we go. This stuff. Oh fuck, I can't say that. Oh my God. Just shit straight in my mouth. Oh my God, it's so bad. Oh fuck. It tastes like fungusy, rotting, molding wood. Or leather, like an old pair of rental bowling shoes that you've been brining in like pickle brines and honey for a long time. Now this, I want to make a sour from, I think. So I'm gonna start with 1 ounce of lemon juice. All right, 1 ounce of lemon juice coming up. What I'm doing here is I'm gonna do some kind of thing. I'm gonna make this my sweetener and a split base. That's what I'm thinking. And that's why I think I probably don't need anything else. So I'm gonna go 1.5 ounces of this stuff and 1.5 ounces of the nose mill. Okay, ice time. Ice, baby.
Ooh.
Very simple drink. Let's see if it's any good. It's got a strong Klaposter Mjod nose, so I would say that we have not hidden our wild card ingredient, which is good. I want to make sure we honor it. A little dry. I thought the mead would be sufficient for sweetness. Let's add 1/2 ounce of simple. Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
Oh,
that
nice.
does service to both. It seems like it's gonna be a really standard bourbon sour. And then it takes this it's got a tangy flavor that goes along with the lemon very, very well. And it's not overly sweet. It's not underly sweet. It is the right amount of sweetness. But all of that, the volume is turned way down on that in the evolution. And then you are left with this lingering, I guess it's a caraway seed note, like a pumpernickel bread seed kind of taste that is not, for me, it's not for me, overbearing. But I guess for maybe some people it might be. For me, I find it nice. It's subtle. And it leaves me with this very pleasant variation on a kind of sour. I really like it, actually. I'm pretty happy with this. And maybe that's what it is too. It smells like it's about to taste like Kaoling wine, and then you sip it and you're like, oh, thank Jesus, it doesn't taste anything like that. And the whole time you're so relieved that you're just like, oh, this is great. This is just great. It is not actually a good drink at all. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. You get a little bit of this up front first, actually. I want to revise my profile here. You get a quick, like that long blast of its brand of weirdness up front. And maybe it is a little bit of that Kaling wet dog kind of thing. Maybe that is it. But here with the lemon plus the honey from the mead, because mead is honey, backing it up, and something that the bourbon is doing there, but maybe it's lost. It reads as interesting instead of miserable. And then everything else holds true. Well, hot dang, we done it. I need a name for this drink. Did we name the other one either?
You named the first
That's a Marty Bird.
Yeah.
That's a Marty Bird for sure. Number 2 here. I'm gonna name this Safe in Hell, after a pre-code film about running from New Orleans down into the Caribbean to hide out from some bad mobsters. Because the combination of Southern Comfort and also the Lemon Heart makes me think of Safe in Hell. It's not a great movie, but it's okay. And this one is a benign threat, which, according to at least one person, is the main ingredient for comedy, benign threats. So this was Worst Bottles of My Bar, Part 2. I definitely want to do more of these. I gotta get us some Gamel Dance. Everybody tells me that's like terrifying stuff. You will find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Patreon, and TikTok, in the places that are now appearing upon your screen. And also, I have been making this show for a very, very, very long time. And while subscribing is nice, it's better to watch the other episodes of the show that exist. You gotta smash that like button, bro. I don't care about that. Just watch the show. I hope that
I care. Smash my like button.
you just sucked in like soft little sleepy-brained sponges looking for more and more YouTube content. Okay, I'll see you guys soon with another episode of HTD here on the All the HTDs All the Time network.
Okay. Well, that was fun. Oh, he's got some cyberpunk stuff. I think I've mentioned that before. I should probably do that. I mean, it would pair well with the anime that I watched. If you haven't seen my reactions to Cyberpunk, that's on the anime channel, Chicago Reacts Anime. The entire first season is there. I don't know if there's going to be a second season. In any case, it is fun to see somebody like take a drink that's terrible and make something good at it. I usually just try to avoid having things that I hate. But occasionally it happens. Like my roommate one time had this terrible, terrible bottle of like sweet red, and it was just heinous. I did manage to make a drinkable sangria out of it. So I was like, and that's always nice. That like feels good. It's like, okay, we can drink this. There's very little I can do with this wine that's good, but I can at least turn it from garbage to okay, and sometimes that's all it is. Taking something to make it, this is fine. We're not going to waste it. We're not going to pour it all down the drain. We're going to drink it. We're not going to get this red again. We're not going to do this drink again on purpose, but we'll make it happen. Occasionally, it's, people will ask for something specific at the bar, and I'm just like, we don't have that, and like you have to kind of make do with what you have. Like people have asked for like a Sazerac before. I'm like, we don't have like any of the things that we need for that, but whatever. I made it. I made them something like similar enough that they were like, ah, yes, that does in fact taste like Sazerac. I'm like, all right, cool, good job, good job, me. I've never had a Sazerac. I don't know. But sometimes it's like you have to figure it out, which is nice. It's fun. It's always fun to watch him be tortured too. So like the first bits where he like really hated it, very funny. I enjoy, the shot, like I said earlier, the schadenfreude is real. Anyway, yes, thank you so much for suggesting the Malort episodes. I think there's another that he did, like other Malort cocktails that are actually pretty good. If there's like a specific one I should watch, please do let me know. If there's something else that I should look at, I feel like somebody has mentioned there's been another drinking channel that somebody has mentioned I should look at. So I will. I just haven't gotten to it yet, but I shall. If there's other things like that that you want me to react to, please do let me know. My knowledge is not as extensive as his, but I feel like I've been doing this for a long enough time that I can figure stuff out, or at least I know more than a lot of people. And I have fun looking looking at these. So let me know if there's anything in specific I'll also be taking a peek at. If there's anything else you want me to do, just let me know. Make sure you do hit the like button. We do like that for us. It helps us in our algorithm. And subscribing to the channel also helps. We're trying to get to 100,000. We are getting pretty close. We also have 2 other channels right now that we're trying to, spread the word about. The links for those will be in the description box below. We have, like I said, Chicago Reacts Anime, where we are watching various animes. And then we also have the Americans Learn channel, which we just a variety of different types of reacts. We do listen to music. We do history there. Like lots of other stuff that we do there that doesn't quite fit here on Reacts. So just pop over there and check us out. Thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.